Welcome, super nerds. I imagine if you're watching this video, there's one of two situations. You're either a teacher who's interested in flipped learning and you want to move on that way, or you're one of my students. If you're one of my students, you're here for a very specific reason. You're at the start of the course. You're at the start of whatever course it is. And I want you to understand that, yes, I know you know how YouTube works. This is not old man yells at clouds and tells kids how, not at all. I understand you know how YouTube works. But we're talking about using YouTube here for a very specific purpose, or whatever this is on, whatever platform. We want you to use it as a learning tool. And this means you're going to watch videos for learning a little differently than you would when you're just watching for entertainment. The same thing with reading, by the way. Like, if you're reading for study, you don't just sit there and read. You read actively, and that's the goal. We want you to be active throughout these videos, and that's why we have this video here. We want to give you just some pointers and tips. If you're a teacher and you're curious as to how flipped learning might work, then, well, this is a good primer for you to work out, to explain to your students how they should be watching their videos. And you can make your own version of this or send them mine, whatever, I don't care. So, my videos have a very strict format, and that format is based on the last 6 or 7 years of working with a teaching partner and how we've developed our videos. So if you watch any videos by a guy called John Caddison or Mr. Caddison, his videos are very similar. If you're in my classes and you're watching this, he may have been your teacher at one point. His videos are very similar. Like, they've got different colors. He's like, ooh, bright colors, whatever. I'm like, black. But yeah, but the style is very similar. So I start off with a learning goal for each video. It's the whole point of the lesson. It's really good for you to understand why it is you're here. There might be times where this and the success criteria, which we'll get to in a second, don't exist, and maybe that's why you wanted to have a bit of mystery in there. So, generally. But generally this is the case, okay? Everything else is the exception. So the point of this lesson is to be able to learn to watch flip videos successfully. Then we have a success criteria. This is when you've completed this lesson. This is what you should be able to do by the end. And you'll know you've understood it. You'll know you've learned it when you can do this. If you are in one of my classes, this will be written down at the start of your notes every single time. Okay? If you're not in one of my classes, I'll do whatever you want. Okay, do what your teacher says. If you're a teacher, tell your kids to do whatever you want. Make them do what you say. Whatever. So, vocabulary. For example, a word you will need to understand throughout this video is Cornell notes. Okay? Now, in my videos, typically I don't sit here and read the vocabulary to you. What I ask you to do is pause the video, write this down, and then when you've finished writing it down, we'll continue on. I don't want you writing down while I'm talking, so that's how we're going to do that. The vocabulary for the lesson is really, really important. The point of these videos is that they are fast, quick, rapid fire. This one's not so much, but whatever, it's an intro. And so you've got this to refer back to as we move on. And there's a reason for it. Science, but any subject you want to learn, is literacy heavy. There's not a subject that's not literacy heavy. Every idea, concept, whether you're a mechanic, whether you're a physicist, for some reason I'm stuck in the physical realms, whether you're a PE teacher, a maths teacher, they all have their own language. Teaching has its own language. And you need to understand that language in order to communicate the ideas. And that's why we have this vocabulary session. We just want you to be able to have a basic vocabulary that you can draw from throughout the lesson. And you can go back to this. Like, you don't have to, write it down once and then not look back at it. You can pause and go back. So, how do we watch a flip video? First, we need you to close off all your distractions. This is not some old man yells at clouds. The phones, I love them. I'm a big fan of technology. I think you should have access to whatever technology you want. It's really important. Technology here is going to help us learn. That's what we do, watching a video on the internet. You may be doing this on your phone. You may be doing this on your laptop, iPad, whatever. Doesn't matter. My point is, though, for the 5-6 minutes that you're going to be watching a video for a class or for learning, you should have all the distractions turned off. You should have that turned off when you're studying from a textbook as well. We're not very good at watching and being distracted. With that being able to do two things at once, it's not something we're very good at. The other thing I want you to do is you need to watch this by yourself. And that's part of removing distractions, but it's also part of allowing the learning to happen at your own pace. There's a problem, say, if a teacher was to ever, for some reason, read a book to a class at a high school level when everyone knows how to read. Why? Not everyone in high school can read, but it doesn't matter. But if it were to read to the class, you're learning at the pace that I'm reading. If you watch this by yourself, you can pause it when you want to. You can go back when you want to. If you're learning with someone else next to you, you've lost that individualization. You might be learning at their pace, or they're learning at your pace, so forth. Sound on. For example, if you have the sound on, I want you to write the phrase giraffe taxi. I'll be checking this if you're in my class to make sure you wrote this down. Giraffe taxi. Now, a lot of people watch these videos when they're first starting out, they don't know any better, with the sound off. I don't know why they do that. I will say stuff in my videos. I know other people say, some don't. Some just, boom, everything's on the board and they read that to you. Whatever. That's not how I'm going to do it. I'll say stuff that is important that won't just be written on the screen. Okay, so I need the sound on. I need you paying attention. Set up your note-taking before starting the video. My students will be running Cornell notes. This is not a choice for them. That's what they'll be doing. It's a system I like. But set up your note-taking so that you're ready before you start watching. So don't press play and then get your pad out and start writing, all that sort of stuff. Be ready to go before you start. Pause the video every time you write. Do not be writing and listening to me at the same time. I know my voice is wonderful and lull you into a sense of wonder, but you cannot. You cannot listen to me and write at the same time. It is not humanly possible. It's too much brain power. Take comprehensive notes, including diagrams in pencil. Use colors. Use colors. Make your notes attractive. It's pretty. Whatever. Don't buy into that nonsense that it should be like black pen or blue pen. Use your colors. Make it attractive. Go nuts. Include diagrams. If I put a diagram on the screen and you're one of my students, you're writing down that diagram, drawing that diagram, I guess, in pencil. Diagrams in science are done in pencil. It's not that big a deal, but whatever. It's just a convention. And finally, questions. At no point should you expect a perfect understanding from a video. It's not meant to be there. Come up with a question, ask it in the comments below or wherever your teacher wants you to. If you're in my class, you'll know where that is by now. Or by the time you watch the next lot of videos. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Have a question to bring to class. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. We'll get back to you as quick as we can. Thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye now.